Why self-education? And even if self-education is there, why does Advait say that self-education is not only important but actually more important than the rest of your education? Will not a good job, money, a nice family give me happiness? That's the crux of the question. Good. What's your name?
Praveen Chaudhary.
Praveen Chaudhary. Good. Very nice question to start with. When you are saying that normal education gives happiness to me, and by normal education you mean your study of the languages, mathematics, physics, right? Economy, constitution, polity, and not technology. When you are saying that normal education gives happiness to me, what do you mean by me? You see, your education is so much about things external that you have started taking yourself to as an object. Maths, English, Hindi, Sanskrit, technology, all these are outside of you, merely objects. Are they not? Or is there anybody here who would like to claim that he or she is a glacier or a river or a tree or a pendulum or an atom or a theorem or a machine or a currency? Anybody here? Or a hormone? Anybody here? Your normal education has brought to you the knowledge of everything which is not you. Hold to this statement and verify it for its truth. Your normal education has brought to you the knowledge of everything that is not you. If you look at all your education from age 3 till this age, last 20 years of your education, tell me of one object, one subject, one chapter in any book that was named I. You very well know, look at this hall, you very well know about the structure, the materials, the motors, the technology. You can tell me about the wood, the paint on the wood, the metal on the wood. You can also talk about the radiation coming from these lamps. We can discuss the wavelength, we can discuss the technology, we can discuss the chips in here, all the electronics that have been used in the camera, right? And that is what all your knowledge is about. Continents, countries, people, races, ethnicities. What is common amongst all this? What is common amongst everything that your education has given you? Yes. Your education has given you knowledge about everything that is not you. That is one common running thread. So when you say, I have had normal education, the glitch there is, you do not know the I. Who has had normal education? You know your t-shirt. You know about the weave. You know about the dye on the t-shirt. You know about the specs you are wearing. You know about the mobile device you are holding in your hand. You know about all these. But is any of these you? Are you your mobile device? Are you your clothes? At most, your education has gone on to give you knowledge about the body. But again, are you just the body? If you are just the body, then the body is changing all the time. Who are you then? When one knows nothing about himself, then the most fundamental aspect of education is missing. One is worse than being illiterate, because an illiterate man at least knows that he is illiterate. But this man who has degrees and qualifications and probably doctorates is fully literate and hence will never confess that he is uneducated. So great literacy but very little education. Lots of qualifications but very little wisdom. The result of your normal education has been that today the world has come to a point where in the next 20-30 years, 3 or 4 of your India's major coastal cities are in real danger of being submerged. And because we are close to the Independence Day of the nation, so this becomes even more relevant. You would be celebrating the Independence Day without understanding how we, through our deeds, are going to sink 3 of our biggest cities. You know about the world, science gives you that knowledge. What do you do with the knowledge that science gives you? Ultimately, science is not alive. The mind that is alive does something with that science. Is that or is that not so? Does the atom come and say that I want to give energy? Does the atom come and say that? Who wants to derive energy by breaking the atom? Man. And who will decide the direction in which that energy goes? Man. So you have modern physics that told you about nuclear fission and later nuclear fusion also. And what did the uneducated mind do with that energy? What technology was that science converted into? What have we done with that? What we have done is that today mankind is standing on so much fissile material that the entire earth can be destroyed hundreds of times. Now that's utterly stupid. One time is sufficient to destroy everybody, but you have so much of fissile material with you, so much ammunition with you, that you can destroy this earth once, then twice, and then 500 times again. That is what this uneducated mind does with all the objects of your normal education. And one of the greatest products of science has been the Industrial Revolution, right? The Industrial Revolution that gave us electricity, that gave us all these objects of consumptions in great measure. That gave us the highways, that gave us all the machines. But what did man do with the engine? What have we done with our knowledge of producing energy? We have brought ourselves to a point where the weather cycle has been greatly disrupted, where entire species are getting extinct by each passing day. The sea levels have already risen greatly and several islands have already disappeared. And what's worse, we are not being educated to bother about it. Because when your mind is filled only with knowledge of objects, all you want to do is consume. My only botheration is how much I can consume. I do not bother what is happening outside my air-conditioned hall. I am consuming the air conditioning. I am consuming whatever I can, and what is happening outside I don't bother. I'll have to bother when it will strike me hard, but today I don't bother. Because my mind is objects, objects, objects and objects. And what else can be done with objects? Eat them, consume them, be entertained with them, and that's what my life gets filled with. Eating, consumption, entertainment. Wherever you are looking at the world, whenever you would look at the world without simultaneously asking who is looking at the world, what is his relationship with the world, what is this thing called the world, and what is this thing called seeing the world, you would end up with very tragic consequences. You would have read that phrase in the reading that was given to you: smartphones and stupid people, guided missiles and unguided men. So your missile very well knows where it should go, right? You can launch a missile from the United States and direct it very precisely to some village in Iraq. You can do that, right? So the missile very nicely knows where it should go. Now tell me, how many of you know where you should go? Do you know where you should go? Or is there just confusion and conflict? Now what kind of education is this that produces wonderful missiles but confused men? Has your education ever taught you how to take decisions in life? Any course, any subject, any module, any chapter, any book? Has your education ever told you what is really important? And your mind is filled with 1,000 things. Out of them, what is really important? Has any education ever guided you in that? Now, is it any wonder that we do not know how to handle ourselves, our thoughts, our emotions. Has your education ever taken you to your own mind? Has education ever told you what is the relation between hope and ambition, between success and satisfaction, between attachment and love? Ever had any chapter on attachment? And are you not thinking about these topics half your time? Success, satisfaction, attachment, love. Yes? Conflict, decisions, options, money, family. Tell me, are you not thinking about these many hours a day? Do these not occur to you? They surely occur to you. And they occur to every single man and woman on this planet. They have occurred and they'll keep occurring. But what is this education that never bothers to look into these? We are the products of a very poor education system. And the results have already been very catastrophic. Man's mind is becoming more and more violent by every passing day. What you call as maturity is nowhere to be seen. People just don't grow up. You must ask yourself, while we all love to condemn the cases of violence against women, nations fighting wars with each other, and we are struck hard when we see that kids are being raped, we never really bother to go deeply into the issue. Why is this happening? Several of these diseases were not so prominent 50 or 100 years back. Even physical diseases, cancer, diabetes, they were not so prominent 50 or 100 years back. But first, let's look at mental ailments. The fellow who is indulging in all these practices, where is he coming from? Today you talk of corruption, right? And you change governments because you don't like corruption. You hold protest marches and candlelight vigils. And you want the murderers and the rapists to be hanged. And there are thousands of these coming from God knows where. God knows where. Where are they coming from? Are they dropping from the skies? Where are all these people coming from? They are products of our schools and colleges. Have you not seen that? Don't you understand that? A few years back, just like you, they were sitting on the benches of some school or college of university. It is our colleges and universities that are feeding them with stuff that is destroying the world. Tell me, what is more important? You or the chair that you are sitting on? What is more important? What is more important, you or the chair that you are sitting on? Be loud, be certain. What is more important? What would you say about an education that tells you everything about the chair and nothing about yourself? such a stupid education that thinks that the chair is more important. So the child is born, you start teaching the child about the chair. C for chair. What kind of system are we coming from? You will know everything about the chair. You will precisely know which chemicals are being used as paints, what is the composition of the racine, what is the wavelength of the color, what are the exact dimensions, precise up to the 10th place of decimal. But how will that knowledge help you? Sitting on the chair, you are sobbing and confused and indecisive and frustrated, and you know everything about the chair. Will this help you? Will this help you? The first inquiry must be into the man sitting on the chair. And if the education system is deficient in that, then that world will be a very poor place. The danger is, it might already be too late for many of you. Whenever we go to a college, we want to introduce this program as early as possible. We say introduce it in the first year if possible. But most places think that this is a very mature and very advanced program and first year students can't handle it, so they keep pushing it to the later years. At some places they say unless it's a postgraduate program, this can't be floated. This course is worthy of a postgraduate program. But by the time you reach your age, 18, 20, 22, sometimes it's already too late. You have been corrupted and conditioned so much that it becomes impossible for you to go back and really understand what is being said. It becomes impossible for you. I really wish that is not the case with most of you here. Right?